As we all know, this reauthorization has been held hostage, and there's no more accurate way to describe what's been going on. It is completely non-controversial. It is completely motherhood and apple pie, and for that reason, it was taken as a hostage and put in the so-called extenders bill, which overall was very controversial, which had a lot of objectors, particularly because it balloons deficit and debt significantly by tens of billions of dollars. I asked several times over the last several weeks, Mr. President, for that gamesmanship to stop, for that hostage to be released, for us to pass on a bipartisan basis the extension of the National Flood Insurance Program on its own. That was rejected. And over those several weeks, Mr. President, one version of extenders after another was also rejected. There are 4, maybe 5 different versions of that bill which came to the Senate floor. None of them achieved the required 60 votes to move forward. And so the necessary extension of the National Flood Insurance Program languished for days and then weeks and now almost a month. Mr. President, with so many versions of the so-called extenders bill failing, let's just get back to doing the right thing on this vital program. Let's take this specific measure, the reauthorization of the National Flood Insurance Program, and pass it into law. The House has already done that. The democratically controlled House has done exactly that, passed a full reauthorization through the end of the fiscal year. So let's take their bill and pass it and solve this problem. Allow closings to happen. Give a little boost to the economy when we need every boost we can. Mr. President, certainly people in the real world across America support that. And as evidence of that, Mr. President, I'd ask unanimous consent to submit this letter for the record. It's a letter of strong support that the Senate take immediate action on H.R. 5569, signed by many, many different real estate and related business organizations that want to see those crucial real estate closings resume again. And in that vein, Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of H.R. 5569, which was received from the House. This bill extends the authorization of the National Flood Insurance Program until September 30th.
After I object, I'm going to offer unanimous consent, and the senator from Louisiana gets a chance to pass flood insurance as part of the entire package. So I object to his unanimous consent.
Mr. President,
objection is heard.
Mr. President, reclaiming my time, here we go again. The same old gamesmanship. Through the chair, let me correct my distinguished colleague from Illinois that the reason that bill was objected to by all Republicans as well as some Democrats was not extension of unemployment insurance. If that's his understanding, let me explain to him through the chair that that understanding is completely wrong. In fact, I've stood here on the Senate floor and suggested a UC to separate out that part of the bill as well and pass it. But many folks' objection, including mine, is ballooning the deficit and the debt, which every single version of that bill did by tens of billions of dollars, the original version by approximately $80 billion. In the meantime, can we pass a necessary program, the cessation of which is holding up real estate closings all around the country and hurting an already ailing economy when we're experiencing almost 10% unemployment? I guess this exchange is at least useful because it illustrates the gamesmanship that's continuing to go on. My distinguished colleague is giving me this opportunity. My distinguished colleague is holding a gun to my head, trying to say you have to vote to balloon the deficit, trying to say you have to vote for other irresponsible action, if you simply want a necessary program for your state and the nation, which doesn't cost anything in terms of increased deficit spending, to move forward. Well, I thank my distinguished colleague for holding the gun to my head for that wonderful opportunity, but I reject it, and I think the American people reject it.